In order for me to review an episode as great as this, I'm gonna need you to fist bump me. All of you right now watching, give me that fist bump. I'm sorry I couldn't help myself. This episode of Naruto Shippuden finally we're graced with another great one, another freaking phenomenal one. Everything wrapped up together, and this episode covered 3 chapters, so we got a ton of content within this episode. So let's start off with the animation. While it wasn't as top tier as that episode 322, I believe, where Madara was fighting all the ninjas, it was close to that type of level, and it was just beautiful animation. Animation was gorgeous, so definitely got to give it up for the animation on this one. It looked great, and it just looked beautiful for all the scenes that they did. Naruto going Bijuu mode with Kurama, you know, having Kurama finally bond with him and giving him the strength that he needs. It really feels like the show went full circle with this one. It really feels like, you know, at Naruto, everything he went through, and then he finally, after all this time, was able to get all the hatred out and combine and become a team with Kurama. And that just really goes to show that any obstacle you have in life, regardless of how hard it may be, you can overcome that. One thing I learned personally in my life is that people can beat you at things. You're not going to be the best at everything, but one thing people can never beat you at, and remember this, one thing people can never defeat you at is being you. Nobody can be a better you than yourself. And the small amount of flashbacks we got in this one was just to emphasize that Naruto's been through so much and he's come such a long way from what he was to where he's at now. Animation on Bijuu mode looking freaking beautiful. The way they did it, everything, it just looked freaking awesome. And I just love seeing some of those particular parts where he was going and the transformation was getting started, and it just looked freaking awesome. Now, something that I really wanted to discuss is the whole thing with Naruto talking to all the Bijuu and the Jinchuriki host, and pretty much the conversation that they were having regarding the Sage. Because we get to see a little bit of the Sage, and he has blonde hair like Naruto, and he kind of reminded me of Naruto. And more than likely, it was pretty much hinted in this episode and almost said that Naruto is the reincarnation of the Sage of Six Paths, and the Sage predicted that this would happen. They just had to wait, and in due time it would happen. Now, one of the interesting things is that we see all the Bijuus and everything, and something that the Sage says really makes me think, was he always a good person? Because he said something like, this guy will lead you in a greater path than what I did. And, you know, the way he was saying it was almost as if he was remorseful for some of the actions that he took. And it's making me think, was he bad at some given point? Was he using these Bijuu for evil? Was he doing something crazy that he wasn't supposed to? Or was it that when he took all of them inside of him and became the Jinchuriki for the Ten Tails, was it that he lost control and just started destroying shit? That really piqued my curiosity, because I was just thinking, like, maybe at a point in time the Sage really had a moment where he wasn't the greatest and he wasn't such a good guy. Still wish we would have got a little bit of Shukaku in this. I know that Garo is still alive and whatnot, so that means that he kept Shukaku inside of the statue, but it would have been nice to see Shukaku and the Nine Tails, Kurama, have a reunion, so to speak. But just getting to see all the Jinchuriki previous hosts, it really makes me once again think that I would have loved in part 1 to get more of them and learn more about them, but seeing them reunite with Naruto, and I like that they added a little filler, because in the manga, we never had the encounter between Naruto and Utakata. They never met, and even in this particular point, they never met. So they had to add in that filler part where it's basically saying, you know me, I'm Utakata, which it makes sense, because if you want to have the anime all one cohesive story and not like, well, act like I don't know this guy, then it made sense to do that, and it was appropriate. All in all, this was just a masterpiece of an episode. 10 out of 10. It was freaking amazing. It was beautiful to see, and just finally Naruto and Kurama are gonna go whip some freaking ass. When they went and just started fucking up the Bijuu, all of them, it was just a godlike moment. And being able to see the Sage of Six Paths was a freaking treat, and it's really making me think Naruto is indeed the Sage, and that's probably why Naruto has that special look unlike anyone else. It's because of the Sage himself. So yeah, again, 10 out of 10. Animation check, music check, progression check, rounding out something that's been going on for years with this story, and finally making it come full circle with Naruto and Kurama pretty much finally form a bond where they're no longer hating each other, they're no longer at each other's necks, even though Naruto never really was. But, you know, you get what I mean. Kurama is finally accepting the fact that Naruto isn't a bad person, and I'm gonna help him, and we're gonna become one and stop this piece of shit. With a touch of comedy as well, because Kurama was cracking some jokes, and you gotta love Kurama. Like, he started off as a piece of shit, now he's just like some funny guy. Well, a funny fox, but whatever, he's still hilarious. Let me know what you think of this episode. First of all, that Bijuu mode transformation, were you freaking hype as I was? I loved it. I thought it looked freaking phenomenal, and it just really is reminiscent of Super Saiyan. It's reminiscent when Goku went Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z, and I really love it. I love seeing that monumental moment where Naruto finally did what he needed to do the entire series, and it was great for me. Do you think that the Sage at one given point was evil, or he was bad, or maybe taking in the 10 tails, he destroyed a lot of things? To be honest, I think they outdid the manga with the transformation. It just looked way better. And your overall thoughts of this great episode. I'm really excited. Next week's episode looks pretty decent as well, so Naruto right now is on fire again. The anime is back to where I love to see it every weekend. I'm just excited. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for that Bijuu transformation. Thumbs up for the Sage's 6 paths. And thumbs up for this great fucking masterpiece of an episode. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.